Good afternoon, everybody! Big Mike back here with you once again, featuring Alejandro, Victoria, and Mr. Mixopiz.
Yes, sir.
Hola.
And we are here reviewing a very, how would I say this? A very
Explosive.
Monumental.
Yeah.
episode of WandaVision, episode 8, and holy crap, we got a whole lot of answers. Still a couple of questions, but let's get started. Right up at the top, Salem,
Yes.
Massachusetts.
1698, I think it was.
something like that, which I believe is the same date as the Salem witch trials,
You better believe.
or somewhere in there.
I would think so.
And we see Agatha Harkness being led to what I was going to assume was going to be a stake or a bonfire or something.
They made it seem like she was going to be tried for being a witch.
Right, that's what I thought. But then, reveal the other people leading her were also witches, including her mom,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
I think they said that they were a coven.
Yes,
So it
a
was
coven
the
of
mother
witches.
and all of the daughters.
But they were
I
trying.
think that was her actual
Oh.
mother, though. That felt like it was very much like she.
Yeah, I got that feeling too.
Yeah.
Oh, they tried her and they lost.
Yes,
True.
from what I can tell, they were trying to take away her powers because she studied some dark magic, which maybe confirms the book in there was the Darkhold.
Very possible.
And then she fought back, absorbing not only the power of the other witches, but I guess a little bit of themselves because they did,
Yeah.
including the mother.
They big did.
It was some American Horror Story stuff. Did you ever see that season with the witches, Mikey?
Yes,
Where she sucks out the life people and then they look that like it was
Yeah.
very similar. Like she
Yeah,
sucked their
I-
life out.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
so she
yeah.
sucked their powers out. Do you think that was like consequential and why they looked that way? Like, why do we
Yeah.
think they made them look that way? Because she sucked their life, their powers,
All
what?
of it.
I think she got it all, which is why she still presides today.
Okay, yeah.
I think I also got some like Sith lightning feel from the
Little bit,
From Agatha?
little bit.
from all of them.
Well, my question while we were watching was, why is she approaching Wanda from an antagonistic standpoint? Why is she not befriending her and being like, why don't we team up?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I'm not sure yet, but I got a funny feeling we'll see in the future.
I have
Is there
kind of a theory answer-ish.
Oh.
I have a question answer.
It's I think that you fucked me all up now.
Sorry.
Move along.
Is there something in the comic book that suggests that she's
You gotta enunciate
evil?
better for the people.
Is there something in the comic book?
In the comics, she's more neutral because she took care of not only, the twins in the comics, but also Reed Richards' kid.
What do you mean took care of?
Like, she was their nanny.
For how long?
Did you say
Until
Reed Richards' child?
Yeah, Reed Richards has 2 kids, actually.
Interesting.
Franklin
Maybe
and-
the big reveal is going to be John Krasinski as Reed Richards.
We'll see.
Woohoo!
We'll
Or
see about
somebody.
that.
I think we would know that.
Anyway, let's continue
No,
on.
Marvel's good at keeping things under wraps.
Absolutely, they are.
Yeah.
Next thing we know, we're back in the basement, aka what I believe is the nexus of all realities, which is,
Oh, what an
Good.
interesting thing. I didn't think myself. Wow.
well, considering the last commercial we had was Nexus. So, I think that's what's...
Okay.
Mikey's out here connecting dots for us.
What is the next of all realities?
It basically connects all the realities together.
And Agatha Harkness has control over that?
I don't know. That's the good
It
question.
appears
That's what
like
she
it.
claimed.
It does
Yeah.
appear to be so.
Wanda appeared pretty powerless in there, did she not?
Well, that's because she had, those spells on the walls that interrupted the powers.
And what did Agatha say? Only the one who owns it or whatever can use their power in there.
Exactly.
So she owns the nexus of all whatever?
Potentially?
No way. That feels like way too much power. If she owned that, then why would she be
She's-
coveting Wanda right
She's
now to figure out how to
hundreds
do it?
of years old and absorbed the power of 6 witches after already establishing that she was like studying dark shit and more powerful.
You
than
could
them
list
all.
10 more
True.
things and it wouldn't prove to me. And like, she is desperate to learn how Wanda did this. She is obviously not as powerful, and she's been around for hundreds of years. So she is clearly not as powerful as Wanda.
Fair.
Fair. And we also get the big reveal of why, the show is as it is,
Yeah.
because we see a little walk
I love
down
that.
memory lane,
Yeah.
and we see her parents, and they learn English through our shows, like I Love Lucy, etc., etc.
Dick Van
Which
Dyke
is-
Show.
Dick Van Dyke, which is so sweet.
Heck yeah.
It gives me a connection to Wanda I really didn't have in the past, really. I'm sorry to say that,
No.
but it's definitely a little more personal now.
Absolutely.
I love that.
The way that they had like American TV night, and this is probably like propaganda shit because we're American, but like I was like, oh my god, they like use that as a night to learn English. Like that was
Yeah,
really tender with her
that's-
parents. It
that's
was
awesome.
tender, yeah.
I love that. And what was the next? Oh yeah, and then we see the Stark bomb, which
Cool.
killed her parents.
How come
Which-
they blow up?
And
Theoretically,
that's what I was going to get to. We hear Agatha say, "Oh, you used a whatever hex on it," which potentially stopped it.
is
Which-
that true or
Yeah.
is that just nonsense?
Yeah, tell me
That's-
what you think, Mikey. What do you think about
I
the way she
think
put her hand
that's potential because theorizing from what I've been seeing on the internet, she might be a mutant.
What?
A mutant.
Mutant?
Mutant.
Wanda's a Scarlet Witch and a mutant?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Wait, you
Well-
can be a Scarlet Witch, not the Scarlet Witch?
We'll get into that. But what
Oh,
this...
Really?
Yes, that comes up.
Okay.
And potentially she stopped the bomb.
Who?
Wanda.
Okay.
Yikes. Stay
I'm
with
good,
us.
I'm good. Go ahead.
Anyway, so it is, I think we are going to be leading up to, she's not only a magic user, but she's also potentially a mutant, which means, maybe she didn't get her powers directly from the Mind Stone.
She like communicated with the Mind Stone
Yeah.
before she had ever like. It was that was the scene where I was like, oh my! I never knew how. I
She's
never
powerful.
expected them to say that she was powerful pre-Mind Stone. That was shocking to me. Shocking.
Which makes me think, mutant.
That makes so much sense. Okay, now I understand more.
Could you give me a little background? What is Wanda's introduction to the Avengers like? Like, how does that happen?
Well, she and her brother start off as bad guys. They,
Oh, right.
Ultron.
Yeah.
well, in the movies, but in the comics, they are a part of their father's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Whose father? Oh, Magneto?
Yeah. And
So that's
then,
where this is going, probably, right?
and maybe. And then, after that, they want to make up for their transgressions, so they join the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Along with Hawkeye, who has his own kind of villain backstory.
But what do they want? Like, what's in it for them to be in the Avengers?
To make up for their transgressions.
To pay their dues.
Exactly.
To do some good.
Forever?
Potentially.
I mean, they decided what they want to do is be
Wrong.
the good guys now. They said we are done being the bad guys. They're fighting a different fight than we are.
Exactly.
Alright.
And again, like we said, next scene we see actually see Baron von Strucker
Yeah.
doing the experimentations
Who?
to Wanda. Baron von Strucker, the dude with the monocle. He works for Hydra.
At the very beginning when they're fighting in the snowy tree fucking area.
What was that name?
Baron von Strucker.
Okay.
And
German scientist.
He's the guy that
Hail Hydra.
yeah, it's hard to give him a lot. We just watched Ultron recently though, so you should have some.
He said. He
What's
said,
good?
he announced to everybody, he said, no surrender! And then he turns around and goes, I'm going to surrender.
Yeah, do you remember now? That's very good.
And then unleashed Wanda and Pietro on the Avengers.
Oh.
I only kind of remember that movie. What were we doing while we were watching that?
I don't know.
I thought we were watching.
Yeah, I thought
I guess that was not.
I gotta see that one again.
Okay, so for the second time in this season of WandaVision, we'll likely be watching Ultron after we publish this video.
Back to the video. We gotta go to the video.
Alright, what was the third scene? Oh, third scene was actually a very nice moment.
Let's talk about the third scene forever. That's my favorite.
Between Vision and Wanda.
Yeah.
Now, Wanda just lost her brother to Ultron, and she's still grieving. She's
in the Avengers compound.
In the Avengers compound, she, I guess, sensed Vision coming.
Yeah.
So he walked through, and he's like, I don't know loss. I've never had a loved one, and I don't know what this is like.
And that pressed some buttons for Wanda.
That
it was such
definitely,
a beautiful.
That was a great
defining of grief. Like he only defined grief through love, which was so beautiful.
Yeah, that was.
And like bigger, like I feel like Marvel. I don't know for like a lot of really introspective, like like touching moments like that. And I was like,
That
what
was
a
a great
profound
moment.
way to like look at grief from someone who doesn't share those emotions. It was. I loved that scene.
And we started to see the bonds between Wanda and Vision right there, which...
And Malcolm in the Middle, so we know
Malcolm,
we were right
yep.
for Malcolm in the Middle.
There you go.
Shout out
Nice.
Bryan Cranston.
Shut up, Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston. Jesse, time to cook. Anyway,
Back at it.
back at it. And then so we see Agatha being like, okay, we're one more step there. Let's see how you got
Right.
to where you were. So then we see her in the sword base, whatever. Was that the Triskelion from Winter Soldier?
I can't say that I noticed.
It looked like it.
That was the building, the Winter Soldier, where the helicarrier crashes into the building. It had like three
Oh, the
spires. No.
No.
It had like
It's
three like kind of like oval shaped spires that all connected in like a ring at the top, and they called it the Triskelion.
You're gonna do this on
Spires?
camera.
Spires?
like towers.
Where
Move along.
Move along. Anyway, we see her barge into the not really barge. She was actually led in.
She was invited.
She was kind of invited.
Who?
Wanda.
What's his name? Hayward just like allowed her in and was like, "Look at what we're doing."
Yeah, remember the
And-
first time we saw this scene from a different perspective? They made it seem like she broke into the facility, and that
I
was
thought
so
that too.
manipulative.
I thought that too, but
it
here
was
we
not
are.
at all like that
No,
at
it
all.
wasn't.
I mean, she
That was
was
very,
so.
very interesting.
Yeah, but they all let her. You know,
I mean, she
get
kind of.
away.
I mean, it was
Kicked
that or she
in.
was gonna kill them all.
I mean, she
They
did
didn't stop
kick
her.
in that first door though. Yeah, maybe it's
It
not.
had one,
Yeah, I don't
two,
think
and
that's- No,
three
it's-
on
it's
the other.
not.
That's the Triskelion.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
think
that
what we
wasn't
saw
what it
tonight.
was on the show.
We're reviewing
Okay,
from
I was wrong.
America. We're reviewing Winter Soldier for the audience.
So then we see Wanda, see Vision's body being taken apart bit by bit
So messed up.
without his source of power.
And did it not seem like Hayward manipulated her into the like furthering her grief?
Yeah.
It
Why did
seems
everybody
that
have to be working on him while she went to see his body? That was fucked up. I
Fair,
know.
because
That
it was obviously a very significant amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, why did
Yeah.
they wait until then
It was.
to
It
start
was.
pulling him apart?
It was so manipulative in that way. It felt
Yeah,
very
it was-
suspicious.
and he was like, "Come on in, see what we're doing. Look what we got going on. He's in like 17 pieces, and you want to see him made into 18?
Right,
Sit and
exactly.
watch,
yeah.
like-
And
Why did he do that? Why did he feel like that was necessary?
Yeah, he feels nefarious as fuck to me.
Was Agatha involved in that?
Potentially.
Question. What's going on in Westview right now?
We'll talk about that.
When?
We'll talk about it. It's coming.
Okay, so she's left. Okay, now let's talk about it. So she's left and she's driven to Westview with this piece of paper. Tell us why you think this is Vision that gave her this piece of paper.
Because I believe they were planning on, from what I remember from Infinity War, they wanted to run away. They wanted to get off the grid and just hide away forever.
Right.
And then Corvus Glaive came and tried to take the Mind Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
The dude with like
The children of Thanos.
yeah.
And Thanos came.
And then Thanos came and
So you
fucked
think
shit
that's
up.
where they were in Denmark?
And
They
they
were
actually-
talking about going to New Jersey together. He always had the plan for New Jersey. Is what you're saying?
I don't know if it was.
Specifically, didn't they say it was Eastview, New Jersey?
In the
I
movies?
At the very beginning?
I think that was Wanda.
That was one of the
I
fucking
don't remember them
people?
saying any
Yeah.
part of New Jersey.
From what I could tell, the plan was for them to retire to New Jersey in this pristine,
That's such a weird saying.
I know.
out of the way city.
So they owned the lot,
They did own that lot, yes.
and there was no
And-
house.
She opened up that. That's clearly the blueprints to the house.
No, it was the deed.
It was the
Yeah, I
yes.
think it was the blueprint.
It was the
Yes,
deed.
you're right.
And it
You're
had a
right.
heart on it that said, to grow old together.
Yeah,
To grow old.
That's clearly Vision to me.
I don't think that there was any other handwriting on it. I think that was just an official document,
That is so
Yep.
sad.
except for the heart, and I think that was
And
probably
then-
from Vision, yeah.
Right after, she snaps. She pretty much turns Westview into her playground,
So that she can grow old with him.
so that she brought the character of the Vision back technically,
Yeah, that's
but
a good
it is
point,
not
too.
his body.
Don't you feel like now that we saw how Westview became in her form, that it was not her intent? I don't think she had any malicious intent
No.
to take the rest of the
Yeah.
citizens with her
Totally.
No,
against their will. It seems like she didn't even realize what she was doing until he was already standing there.
She did.
exactly.
She realized what she was doing, and then when he spoke to her, she just flipped a switch and said,
And said everything.
I'm happy.
And said,
"This
"Yup,
is it.
This is
what
it.
I'm looking for."
This is what I want."
And so that was that.
And who can blame her?
I cannot blame her either. But
What an episode!
and then of course we got the big reveal.
no.
Not that big reveal yet. I'm talking about Agatha's costume. We finally get to see the
Yeah.
whole thing,
That was dope.
which was glorious.
Yes, it was.
Including having those tethers around Tommy and Billy's necks.
Yeah.
Do
which
you-
was-
Are
You gotta
they
bring the
real?
book over.
I don't
me
know.
the book.
in the comics, she's a little bit different.
My question is, are they real?
Oh no, they're the same as Vision.
Yeah, they're
They
Her
can't.
children.
They can't
Oh,
exist outside of the hex.
no.
Vision started to disintegrate, and we were like, "Why? Why is that what happens to him?
Yeah.
Like his body shouldn't disintegrate if it's, but it obviously is
It's not his body.
Shocking. I thought this whole season it was his body. Shocking. Hell yeah.
That's what they wanted you to think.
Yeah, they did it. They did it well.
And
Okay,
then
now talk about the after credit scene.
the big reveal. We have the new sword compound,
With as
which
few
is
spoilers as possible.
I'm gonna try. I'm
your
really
best.
gonna try. We get White Vision, which is if you're a comic fan like
It's a
myself,
thing.
you know what this potentially means. And we'll see what happens after. This is the penultimate episode. Next week is it.
Yeah,
We are gonna
Crazy.
get some big fight
Oh
coming.
my
Between who?
god, yeah.
some big fights and big cameo. They've been teasing stuff all season.
I think we have an answer to Agatha and Wanda are definitely going to fight.
Yes.
They're not going to be on the same team.
Why?
for now.
For now, I think for the next episode, which is something else we were talking about, maybe this was all leading to a Wanda movie, but maybe it's not.
Nah,
Can I throw out some names?
Go on.
Hulk.
Hulk's a possibility.
Captain Marvel.
Possible.
Magneto.
Hey, that's mine. That's mine.
Absolutely
You
possible.
told me that.
You also think John
John,
Krasinski
go ahead.
as...
John Krasinski as Reed Richards. Yeah.
Reed Richards is Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
for
Stretch
people like
Armstrong.
me that don't know about Reed
He's
Richards,
got stretchy limbs.
long.
Falcon.
Long.
Falcon's
he can stretch
possible.
everything.
Winter Soldier.
He can like turn himself into
Possible.
like a parachute.
Elastigirl.
Yeah.
Who
Pretty
else,
much.
who else is around?
With
Doom.
Leslie
She did
Moody.
it better though.
Doom.
Doom,
Yes.
potentially.
Doom's interesting.
Unless John Krasinski
Logan.
gets in.
Has that ass.
2-0 Rangers.
There is a lot that could happen in next episode. It's gonna be
Incredible
interesting.
season.
I mean,
I
throw
have
out
to say,
some names that
incredible.
would be crazy.
It made
Actors
this
were-
episode made the whole season worth it. If
Yeah.
you only watch one video, watch this one and watch the whole show.
Yeah, it's that.
It
good.
made
Exactly.
it
Already
all
20
worth it.
minutes in.
It is all
Maybe
worth
they're at. Tony Stark.
He's dead.
He's dead.
He's big
babe.
dead.
He's big dead.
He's
Big
dead.
Big
Just,
dead.
Unless they
just
bring
saying
him back
crazy-
as an
crazy
AI.
questions.
He's
Crazy
big.
questions.
Like maybe they bring him back as an AI or something. That could be.
No, it's one of the
That
ones you
one's
already
too far.
mentioned. There's already you've
It's-
already
it's a little
gone,
much.
gone past.
Rhodey, maybe.
Thor.
Thor is off with the Guardians.
Yeah, he's in outer space.
They're out in space.
I
Chances
mean,
we get none of these.
Hi.
I have a
learned-
feeling that the next episode is going to lead into like a major movie that's going to like pull a lot of things together.
Yeah.
Featuring.
It's like this episode is
The
gonna
Good
be
Doctor.
like we've been complaining about cliffhangers.
Yes, guys.
This next
have-
episode is going to be a wicked cliffhanger. The same way the last episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be a wicked cliffhanger. And we're going to end up in the next phase with an Avengers movie.
One's
And it's going to be
That's
everybody, and the villain is going to be Wanda, who has already defeated and maybe absorbed the powers of
Wanda.
Agatha.
Ooh.
Maybe they team up.
Or they
Yeah,
team
I
up.
would
That's a
prefer
great
team
thing,
up.
too.
I prefer because
Take
I love
on
Agatha.
Vision. And
Exactly. Maybe they corrupt White Vision in some way.
Yeah,
Maybe.
corrupt. My suspicion is that White Vision is already corrupted, and he's made to just be like a super weapon and not
No.
actually.
I think they corrupt him from being a super weapon and turn him to their team.
Ooh.
But their team would be good to me.
Why does
I
he have
mean,
to be
yeah,
white?
but-
Like, what's the significance?
Well, spoilers.
Spoilers.
That's coming next episode.
Yeah, that's coming in episode 9, the finale.
All right, Mike, you want to sign us off?
I cannot wait for that. I hope you guys enjoyed. Keep it sweet, baby. Peace.